Skeezix is asleep.
His hair is fuzzy, his eyes are blue. His eyes may change, they often do. He weighs 8 pounds and an ounce or 2. Joseph Taylor Jr.
When he wakes up, he wants to eat, and when he sleeps, he wets his seat. But you'd forgive anyone as sweet as Joseph Taylor Jr. Do many people know yet?
About him? Do they know? Why, the whole town's in an uproar. Women are rushing to church. Men are pouring into the saloons. This morning, the townspeople gathered in front of Village Hall. His Honor the Mayor addressed them.
Have you heard the news? It's a boy!
Hear ye, hear ye! The birthday of Joseph Taylor Jr. is bound to be a legal holiday someday, so we might as well start on his first birthday. Close the bank.
Hurrah!
And tell the kids no school today.
Yay! Ring out, all bells of joy, and all the ships at sea ahoy. The doctor's wife has a bouncing boy, Joseph Taylor Jr. See what Mrs. Taylor's done, had herself an 8-pound son.
Hail him, everyone. Joseph Taylor Jr.
Joseph Taylor Jr. Ring, oh bells of joy for Joseph Taylor Jr. Marjorie's 8-pound boy.
Joseph Taylor Jr. Marjorie's 8-pound boy.
You're a fool. Joe!
Here I am, Mother.
Ned Brinker just drove up in his buckboard. He says Jenny has started and you better go right over there with him. Don't forget, you've got to stop in to see Old Man McCoy, too. That's on your way back.
Gosh, is everybody going to have their baby today? This town needs about 10 more doctors. I wish old Skeezix would hurry and grow up so he could help me already.
What makes you think he's going to be a doctor?
I don't know. He looks like a doctor. See that the old lady gets arrested, Mother.
I'll take the young man to his crib. Oops, did you hear that?
What?
He brought up a bubble.
Isn't he clever?
That's Grandma's good boy.
Mother Taylor,
What?
do you think he'll ever get to look any better?
Sure he will. He'll look younger when he's older. You don't look any worse than your father did when he was a baby. Maybe you'll grow up to be a doctor like him. But looking at you now, it doesn't seem possible. Starting out so foolishly small, it's hard to believe you will grow at all. It's hard to believe that things like you can ever turn out to be men. But I've seen it happen before, and I know it can happen again. Food and sleep, plenty of soap, molasses and sulfur and love and hope. The winters go by and summers fly, and all of a sudden you're men. I have seen it happen before, and I know it can happen again. And I know it can happen again.
A funny place to be coming to in life.
Papa's boy.
Precious. Grandma's good
Coochie, coochie, coochie!
Want to play with the rat?
Coochie, coochie, coochie!
It's a funny place. And those things with the big heads don't help to clear things up. Nobody helps you. You have to puzzle it out for yourself.
Ipecac, ipecac.
Now there's a sound you've begun to know. It means they try to put something into your mouth. Sometimes you give them a fight.
Open your mouth for Mother. That's a good boy.
Another sound you're getting to know. A face goes with it.
Please, Joey, like a good boy.
All right. Might as well take the darn stuff.
if she wants you to.
That's Mother's beautiful, big, brave man.
Knows how to make you feel good, that one.
That's how they get you, Skeezix. Call you their big, brave, beautiful man. That's how they make you do all the things you don't want to do. Take your ipecac, comb your hair, buy them wedding rings.
You're getting to know that one too. The one with the loud, rough voice. When he holds you against him, he doesn't feel soft like the other one.
Well, so long, you two. I gotta go out and kill a few patients.
He's leaving. He always goes. Don't let him do that. Stop him.
What's the matter, Joey? Are you crying because your daddy is going?
Take it easy, Skeezix. I'll be back soon.
Pudgy legs begin to grow long, and one sunny day when you're feeling strong, you straighten a knee and suddenly you're struck with a daring idea.
Martin! He's standing up! I fell down. Let him try to get up himself. Come on, Joey, try again.
Wonder if she knows how dangerous it is. You're sorry you started now. What got into you today anyway? All of a sudden, crawling wasn't good enough. Whoops! Almost fell again. Hey, wait. Do you realize what happened just then? You felt yourself falling, and you put one foot out to save yourself, and you didn't fall. Say, maybe if you keep taking steps, one after the other, maybe going forward is easier than standing still. Come on, step out.
1 foot, other foot. 1 foot, other foot.
1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot. Now you can go wherever you want to go. 1 foot out and the other foot out, that's all you need to know. Now you can do whatever you want to do. Here you are in a wonderful world, especially made for you. Especially made for you. Now you can march around the yard, shout to all the neighborhood, tell the folks you're feeling good. Folks ought to know when boys feel good. Now you can imitate a dog, chase a bird around a tree. You can chase a bumblebee. Once is enough to chase a bee. Now you can play among the flowers. Grab yourself a hunk of dirt, smudge it on your mother's skirt. That little dirt won't hurt a skirt. 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot. Now you can do whatever you want to do. Here you are in a wonderful world, especially made for you. Especially made for you. Especially made for you. To walking, to running, to playing, the sunning. Especially made for you. For now you can walk, you taught yourself to walk, you puzzled it out yourself, and now you can walk. 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot. Now you can go wherever you want to go. 1 foot out and the other foot out. 1 foot out and the other foot out. 1 foot out and the other foot out. And the world belongs to Joe.
Joey,
It's
it's
a
a Bronco Billy's.
But you can't go today.
Gee, that's right. I forgot. His grandma.
Oh, yeah. Gee. Ready, March?
Yes, darling. Joey, stay in the house till we get back, like a good boy. Ned Brinker's bringing little Jenny over to keep him company.
That's good. These things are nothing for kids. Nothing for anybody. She was a good old lady, wasn't she?
These things are nothing for kids. But it did happen to you. You're a kid, and yet here you are. And suddenly you have no grandma.
It'll be funny without me. Hard to imagine the house without me.
Good morning, Joseph. I'm sorry about your grandma.
Death is a sad thing. People cry and sob, grown people. You haven't seen your father cry. He just looks kind of angry.
Grandma was his mother. Gosh, suppose your mother ever. Oh, well, that isn't going to happen. Just stop thinking like that. Get back to Grandma, quick!
Look out, Joey. Your eyes are watery. Blow your nose. If Jenny sees you crying, she'll cry too. Try to smile. Ah, that's Grandma's good boy.
The winters go by, the summers fly, and soon you're a student in high.
And now your clothes are spotlessly clean. Your head is anointed with brilliantine.
You're brimming with hope, but can't quite cope with problems that vex and perplex.
Or you don't quite know how to treat the bewildering opposite sex.
Good night, Joseph. I had a lovely time. Good night.
What do you suppose Jenny would do if you kissed her?
Good night.
Poor Joe, the older you grow, the harder it is to know what to think, what to do, where to go.
Well, good night, Joseph. See you in school tomorrow.
Your love for Jenny becomes more keen. Your arms get long, your legs get lean, and all at once you're 17.
Joseph Taylor, Jr.
Do you suppose he's asleep?
Must be. His lights out. I'm too excited to be asleep. Leaving for college in the morning, leaving home.
Don't look so mopey. The boy isn't going away forever.
You're not his mother. I've had this feeling all the time I was getting his things ready, sewing his name on his shirts, helping him pack. This is the end of me, I thought. Mother's job is over. If I closed my window, they'd know I heard all that. Anyway, I'm too interested to stop listening. They're talking about me. Gee, I'm pretty important to them. You look kind of mopey yourself.
I had another tough day.
How's Mrs. Mason doing?
Worse since yesterday.
Joe, last night you came home and said you thought you had the case slipped.
That's what I thought.
You'll pull her through. I have a feeling. I've been hearing this kind of talk ever since I can remember. Dad always has one case that stumps him, and Mother always has a feeling he'll need it. Do you think Joe takes medicine?
He's a born doctor. I could tell when he made rounds with me this summer. I could tell by the questions he asked and the way he looked when he asked them.
He was telling me how he helped you with the Jacobs boy.
Yep, that was his whip.
Dad had to use the kitchen table to operate on the kid. Boy, was I scared. Nothing in the world mattered except saving a 10-year-old boy I'd never seen before. Gosh, who would want to be anything else but a doctor? How are you coming along with the hospital fund?
I don't know, Marge. It's hard raising money for our hospital when people can only give you $5 and $10 gifts. Some of them give 50 cents.
You'll have your hospital someday, Joe. I just know it.
Got a feeling about it?
Yes, I have a feeling.
I hope Joe marries a girl who gets feelings about things.
I hope he gets a girl with good sense.
Yes, good sense is alright too, if she doesn't overdo it. Do you suppose he'll marry Janie Brinker?
Hard to say. He'll be meeting a lot of new girls at college.
But not like Jenny.
No other girl can ever be like her. She's just so unusual.
I just hope he doesn't pick a lemon. It's only dumb luck when a boy finds his right girl, the way I did.
You say that to make me feel good.
Well, this is it. Oh, there was a girl to sit by his side at the end of a weary day. To sit by his side and listen to him talk and agree with the things he say. Oh, there was a girl to hold in his arms and to make his dream come true. A fellow needs a girl.
They're funny when they're by themselves. Not like a mother and father. A fellow and a girl. Like a Geneva. Almost. My fellow needs a girl to sit by his side at the end of a weary day. So I sit by his side and listen to him talk and agree with the things he say. My fellow needs a girl to hold in his arms when the rest of the world goes wrong. To hold in his arms and know that she believes that her fellow is wise and strong. When things go right, his jaws will drop, and he wants to share the prize he's won. If no one shares and no one cares, where's the fun of the joy well done? My family's home is so wonderful to make his dream Tonight I'm going to the freshman get-together dance in the college gym. What are you going to be when you get out of college?
I don't know. A doctor, I guess. What are you going to be when you get out of college?
I don't go to college. I just came up for the dance.
Well, what are you going to be anyway?
I don't know. Somebody's wife, I guess.
How'd you like to be a doctor's wife?
You've got some line, Charlie. I'm sorry if I step on your feet every once in a while. You see, I never had any dancing lessons until 6 months ago.
You mean to say this is not the first time you've ever danced?
No, I'm all right. I mean, I'm better if I count to keep up with the music. I have my own way figured out.
Well, if it helps you, go ahead and count.
It's not exactly counting. I go like this. 1 foot, other foot. 1 foot, other foot. 1 foot, other foot.
That's our boy. You must forgive him if he looks new. He may grow older, they often do. He weighs 152. Joseph Taylor Jr.
I had no idea it was such a big college. Sure is big. It's a darn nice campus with ivy on the walls, friendly maples outside the lecture halls, a new gymnasium, a chapel with a dome. It's a darn nice
football coach. I'm not one on making speeches, but I want to say this to you. You people up in the stands have got to do your part tomorrow. You've got to let the Wildcats know that you're behind them. Yell! Yell till your voice is hoarse, then yell some more. This is your college, your team, the Wildcats. Don't let them down.
Get out your songbooks, freshmen. Page 3, the football song. Show what you're gonna do tomorrow. Hit! Hit! 1, 2, 3.
The Wildcats are on a rampage. Here goes Wildcats yell, yeah! The Wildcats are out to beat you to a fare thee well. Wow, 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 go the Wildcats, and another team goes down.
Wow!
It's another day of victory for the purple and brown.
Did you see me in football practice? Singing of that guy the old straight arm. We seem to be taking the same courses. Pre-medical?
Yeah, are you?
Yep. Don't know why exactly. I got an uncle in Chicago who juggles pills. Says he'll take me in with him if I'm any good. Say, can I get a look at your notebook?
Sure. I've got a father who juggles pills. He might take me in with him, he says.
Say, you take some notes. Don't miss a thing, do you? Would you let me borrow them?
Sure.
Know what I've been reading all through the lecture? This.
Snappy stories.
Ever read it? Hot stuff. I'll lend it to you. Wanna come over to the house for lunch?
House? Fraternity house?
Sure. Have you been pledged to one yet?
No.
I just joined one. Nice crowd. Wanna come?
Why, sure.
It's a darn nice campus with ivy on the walls, friendly maples outside the lecture halls. I like my roommate, and you would like him too. It's a darn nice campus, but I'm lonely for you. That's beautiful.
Good evening, Hazel.
Hello, Mr. Brinker.
So you got another letter from Romeo. What's in it? A bunch of lovey-dovey stuff?
Popper, honest.
Let's see. Only 2.5 more years in college, then 4 years in medical school, then 2 more years as an intern, then God knows how long before he can get enough paying patients to support a life. You're making a brilliant choice, my dear. Brilliant.
Popper, honestly, why does he have to be a doctor? Because his mother wants him to be. Her father was a doctor. Her husband's a doctor. And if her darling son Joey isn't a doctor, this whole town is going to get sick and die.
Gosh, I don't envy you. With his mother against you, there isn't much you can do.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Hazel. There might be a lot I can do.
Gosh, Jenny, what goes on that little head of yours is nobody's business.
Remember Hazel Skinner? She was over to see me today, and I bet your ears burned. Hazel is going to marry a man named Bobby Martin. He is only 1 year older than you, but he is making lots of money selling automobiles. His family wanted him to be a lawyer, but he says that the trouble with professions is that you study years and you're an old man before you make any money. I guess that's all the news. Fondly, Jenny.
Persicos odi puer operatus. Odi, I hate.
Hello, Joan.
Lo, what's your hurry?
Late for a date. Wanna come along? I think she's got an older sister. I don't know how much older.
No thanks, Charlie. I got a lot of Latin to translate.
Okay, boy. You take the dead language, I'll take my live woman.
Only one I care about is back home. Just got a letter from her.
Got a clean shirt.
Yes, but I only have one.
Swell. That the dame you want to marry?
If she'll wait for me. I don't know if I ever told you this, Charlie, but she's the only girl I ever had a date with. I suppose you think I'm crazy.
Well, you're something like a guy who goes fishing for the first time in his life and decides to quit after he's caught his first fish. For all you know, the waters might be filled with gorgeous, tasty tuna, and you might be settling for a sardine. I'm taking your tie, you don't mind, do you?
I'm not settling for any sardine.
Of course you're not. She's probably a wonderful girl. Only thing I say is that your dollar bill or mine?
Mine.
I'll pay you tomorrow when I get my check. Only thing I say is it's all right to get married eventually, but I want to have plenty of fun first.
People can have fun after they're married.
What people?
My father and mother, they have lots of fun. Don't yours?
I guess so, but not with each other, I don't think. Sure you don't want to come? Relax.
Uh-huh.
Leave that translation out so I can copy it when I get back.
Okay.
Thanks, so long.
So long. Hey, put my shirt in!
An acid is monobasic, dibasic, or tribasic, according to the number of replaceable hydrogen atoms. Thus, HNO3 is monobasic, H2SO4 is dibasic, H3PO is tribasic.
Book 2 of the Odyssey, where we left off yesterday. Mr. Taylor.
Dear Joe, Hazel and Bob have the cutest white stucco house. They are living together like two lovebirds. Lucky bums.
Mr. Taylor.
Thus did Telemachus invoke Zeus, and the all-powerful, answering his prayer, sent forth 2 eagles from his mountain. Swift as the wind of a storm they flew, wing-tip to wing, in lordly.
She is never away from her home in your heart. In your heart every day she is playing her part.
All living matter proceeds from pre-existing living matter. The new form takes on the character from that from which it came.
Hazel is going to have a baby. How I envy her. That's all the news. Fondly, Jenny.
The aim of philosophy is to exhibit the universe as a rational system in the harmony of its parts.
Dear Joe, Popper is taking me to Europe. He wants me to make new friends.
New friends? Get that, Joe? Her father wants her to find a husband. Some lousy nobleman, perhaps. Where does that leave you?
A molecule is the smallest part of a substance which can exist. Alone!
Alone.
You'll never get her back. Think of the men she'll meet on the steamer. And when she gets to England and Paris.
I met a charming boy named Bertram Woolhaven.
She wants to get married. She's tired of waiting for you.
Damn her! Damn her!
Bertram's father is in the coal and lumber business, too.
That's the end, Joe. An alliance between 2 big lumber families. It's the handwriting on the wall.
Unclasps her worn jewels one by one. Loosens her fragrant bodice. By degrees, her rich attire creeps wrestling to her knees, half hidden like a mermaid in seaweed. Pragmatic philosopher searches for the hypothesis which can best serve him.
Philosophy? Hell, you'll never drive her out of your mind. In your heart every day she is playing her part.
Bertram is teaching me how to swim. We're learning a new stroke.
She is never away and you'll never be free.
The Greek philosophers finally rebelled against fatalism. We need not be dominated. They said,
We need not submit, Joe. We need not be dominated. To hell with her. Lots of good fish in the sea.
Did you say that girlfriend of yours had a sister?
I'll say she has.
Then get her. I'm on the loose.
Wonder what happened to the other 2.
No, they won't get lost. My sister knows every inch of these woods. Wouldn't it be funny if she and Joe fell in love like you and me?
Yeah, only I hope they don't take too long to fall in love. I've got an 8 o'clock class.
Well, goodness, it wasn't your idea to drive out here after the movie. You said it'd be romantic to sit in the woods in the moonlight.
Well, it was for a while, wasn't it?
Well, why do you say wasn't it like it's all over? Sometimes I think these nights don't mean to you what they mean to me, do they?
Absolutely.
You aren't just kidding around with me, are you, Charlie?
Absolutely not. But what gives you ideas like that?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I think this is just a college romance, and when you graduate, you'll go off and forget all about me just like all the other boys.
Like all the other boys?
I mean, like all the other boys with all the other girls.
Let's go and look for Joe and that big sister of yours.
girls much? Oh, what makes you ask? I don't know. I was just thinking. You meet all kinds of fellas, don't you? I mean, don't I? What kind would you say I am? I don't know. You're a problem. Problem, eh? Do you know you're a hell of an attractive girl? Beulah, what would you do if... Suppose I was the kind of a class of a type of fellow that would suddenly grab you and kiss you. What would you do? But you're not that type. No, I'm not. That's what I thought. And you're not that type of girl. You're romantic. Like me. Yeah. Say, I'm just beginning to get you. Look at the starlight, falling down like rain. You and me together, bathing in it. That's just an expression. You and me, on the threshold of the unknown. Ah, the unknown. A new secret to learn, a new flower to pluck, a blank page to write on. Yeah, you and me both. No keepsakes have we for days that are gone. No fond recollections to look back upon. No song that we love, no scene to recall. We have no traditions at all. We have nothing to remember so far, so far, so far. We haven't walked by night and shared the light of a star. So far, your heart has never fluttered so near that my own heart alone could hear it. We haven't gone beyond the very beginning. We've just begun to know how lucky we are. So we have nothing to remember so far, but now I'm face to face with you, and now at last we've met, and now we can look forward to the things we'll never forget.
Joe. Bertram.
Kiss her.
Joe! I'm sorry, Beulah. I couldn't help. Joe.
She kissed you back.
We haven't gone beyond the very beginning. We've just begun to know how lucky we are. So we have nothing to remember so far, but now I'm face to face with you, and now at last we've met, and now we can look forward to the things we'll never forget. Joe, the little lass is asleep.
Letter for you, Taylor. Got mixed up with my mail.
Thanks. From her. Probably announcing her engagement to Bertram, as if I cared.
Hey, Joe. Fixed up another date tonight.
She's coming home!
Who?
Jenny! She's through with Bertram. She says she can't stand the sight of him. She gets home in July. Oh, how can I wait?
I thought you said you were on the loose.
Oh, I'm through with that philandering.
Okay. I'll carry on for you.
Oh, what'll I say when I see her? First, I'll give her a piece of my mind about this Bertram business. Shall I tell her about that girl last night? No. Let bygones be bygones. Oh boy, July. Get away, May. Hurry up, June. Come on, you July.
There she is, waiting for you, the way you hoped she would be.
Hello, Joe.
Hello, Jenny.
Say something wonderful to her.
I noticed your house has a new coat of paint.
Copper cable, I had to have it done.
It looks nice.
Get the conversation around to her and you.
You look different too.
Older.
Prettier.
That's it. Go on.
Want to sit down?
Yes, I
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Jenny, darling, I want to sit next to you, to be near you, to touch you.
Nice night.
It's just the kind of night I hoped it would be.
Did you think much about tonight, too?
Did you?
Quite a lot.
You are never away from your home in my heart.
I always think of you quite a lot.
There is never a
There
day.
is never a day when you... Jenny, I think about you all the time.
Do you, Joe?
Every minute. You are never away. You're in my heart. There is never a day when you won't play your part. In the words I say, never away and I'll never be free. You're the smile on my face, or a song that I sing. You're a rain I chase on a morning in spring. You're a star in the lace of a wild tree, in the green leafy lace of a wild willow tree. Tonight you're a star, you're a song that I sing. In my arms where you are sweeter than spring. In my arms where you are love every far than I dreamed you could be. Lovelier, my darling, than I dreamed
I love you. Going to medical school next year?
Yep. I've been working a lot with Dad this summer. You know, a doctor doesn't always know what to do at first. He tries this or that and it doesn't do any good. Then he hits it. And you see the patient get better every day. Well, then you know it's about the best thing a man can be, a doctor. I'm not going to wait until I get out of medical school. We've got to get married sooner than that. I'm going to speak to my dad about it. I guess I'd better speak to your father, too. Do you know if he likes me?
He likes you a lot. Only he's going to ask you about how you're going to support me. The other night on the boat, he said he needs a young man to help him in his coal and lumber business. It's getting awful big.
You mean instead of being a doctor?
He'll tell you how rich we could be. Whatever happens, Joey, it's got to be you who decides. I'd never influence one way or the other. You have to make up your own mind, my darling.
Poor Joe, the older you grow, the harder it is to know what to think, what to do, where to go.
Joe, this local hospital you're trying to build, know why you're having so much trouble raising money?
Well,
It's because people don't want to build a little hospital. They'd rather put money into a big skyscraper hospital in the nearest big town.
But we need small hospitals, Ned.
My father used to say he hoped the automobile would bring the patient to the doctor instead of the doctor having to go to the patient. The way he had to do with his horse and buggy.
When the snows were deep, he used to have an awful time getting out to the farmers' wives when they were having their babies.
That's why he built that L on the house.
We put 3 beds in there, and that was the start of our hospital. Never got any further with it, but I'm going to when I have Joe to help me.
I wouldn't count too much on Joe if I were you. A young fellow like him might be too ambitious to be a small-town doctor. What do you think, Jen?
Pop, aren't you late getting started for your meeting?
Oh, so I am. I was due down at the Alps 5 minutes ago.
How long will you be?
Oh, not long. I'll pick you up in about an hour. Thanks for the supper, Marge.
Good night, Ned.
Say, Joe, I got one on you. That stock I told you about has gone up 22 points. You are a sucker not to buy.
You know what a smart man once said? If you get 10% on your money, you can eat better.
Right.
And if you get 2% on your money, you can sleep better.
Whoever said that didn't know much about business. Who was he?
J.P. Morgan. Marge, if you and Gina excuse me, I'd like to go upstairs and get some reading now.
Of course, Joe.
Good night, Jen.
Good night, Dr. Taylor.
Oh, Marge. Feeling better, darling?
Yes, dear. What did your father mean by that, Jenny?
By what, Mrs. Taylor?
About Joe being too ambitious to be a small-town doctor. Has Joe said anything about that to you?
No. It's just, Pop thinks, well, it seems a shame with a wonderful business like Pop's. He has no son, and he says he could teach it to Joe in a couple of years. Pop thinks Joe is smart.
So do I. Joe's good at anything he likes to do. Joe's good at medicine, Jenny. His father says he's a born doctor. Jenny, what would you do if Joe refused to give up medicine?
What would I do? I'd see to it that he became a real doctor, a rich one. We'd go to some big city and I'd help him get to be the most successful doctor in town. I guess I'm more ambitious than you.
Jenny, I think my husband is a very successful man. He's doing work he likes for people he likes, and he has the kind of home he needs.
You think I'm the wrong kind of wife for Joe, don't you? You don't like me, and you never did, and I always knew it. When my father calls for me to come, I got tired and went home. You know, I feel better now that war's been declared.
So do I, Jenny. Joe? Joe, I'm out on the porch. Hurry! Hurry, sweetheart!
At a wedding, and say what we usually say. belongs to every bride and groom. May the first bright day of their story be a flower that will ever bloom.
I hope I'll make Jenny a good husband.
You were always a good boy.
Honey, I've been thinking a lot about Grandma lately.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together and in the sight of God and in the face of this company to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony.
A change has come over us. The simple words, the commonplace words, and the two serious children listening. A change has come over us. The whisper jokes, the cracks that seemed funny a few moments ago aren't funny anymore.
This is no time for the humorous skeptic or the gloomy prophet. This is a time for hope. These children desperately need our hope.
If any man can show just cause why they may not be lawfully joined together, let him now speak, or else hereafter forever hold his peace. Joseph, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife to live together?
Starting out foolishly small, it's hard to believe they will grow at all. But winters go by and summers fly, and all of a sudden they're men.
I will.
Janet.
Jenny, listen.
Janet, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded husband to live together after God's ordinance in the holy state of matrimony?
Wilt thou love him, comfort him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, keep thee only unto him, so long as ye both shall live? Jenny?
I will.
Who giveth this woman to be married to this man?
I do.
Joseph. I, Joseph, take thee, Janet, to be my wedded wife.
From this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part, till death do us part.
With this ring I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
Two more lovers were married today. Wish them well, wish them well, wish them well. Brave and happy they start on their way. Wish them well, wish them well, wish them well. They have faith in the future and joy in their hearts. If you look in their eyes, you can tell how brave and happy and hopeful are they. Wish them well, 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 wish them
Working hard, baby.
Hello, Pop.
Joe out making calls.
No, he went up to State College for a fraternity reunion.
Know what I saw just now?
No, what?
I was passing my old place, and that fool was taking my name off after he bought the right to use it. Breakers Coal and Lumber. That's a name been known around here for years. And then he puts his own name up. Ramazani.
Ramazzotti owns your business.
The ignorant dumbbell.
He also happens to own our old house. He isn't such a dumbbell.
Meaning I am. I'm the only one that got caught in the crash, I suppose. If the government would only do something, a man would have a chance to get back on his feet.
What could the government do?
Well, they could do something. That's what a government is for. That Hoover.
Jenny!
Hello, Millie.
Come on over and see the chinchilla coat.
I've got to hang my wash. You and the girls come over here.
All right.
Who's got a chinchilla coat?
Nobody. It's a picture of one in vogue.
I was going to say, what women can afford expensive furs these days?
Lots of women. Mrs. Ramazzotti, for instance.
You're always throwing that up to me. Damn it, everybody's poor these days. You're lucky your husband is a professional man who makes a decent living, gives you a roof over your head.
He gives you a roof over your head, too.
It's all in the family, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Decent living. If I thought that's all I'd ever have, I'd just as soon die.
Here it is!
Isn't that the dreamiest coat you ever saw?
Terrific.
To think some girls actually get things like this.
And they're the kind who don't do any housework.
All they do is try to look beautiful. And men think they're wonderful.
Look, on the opposite page is an article. Money isn't everything.
Well, fine. I don't want everything. I'll just take money.
Money isn't everything. What can money buy?
An automobile so you won't get wet, champagne so you won't get dry.
Money isn't everything. What have rich folks got?
A Florida home so you won't get cold, a yacht so you won't get hot.
An orchid or two, so you won't feel blue if you have to go out at night.
And maybe a jar of caviar so your appetite won't be light.
Oil tycoon and cattle king, radio troubadour, belittle the fun that their fortunes bring, and tell you that they are sure. Money isn't everything.
Money isn't everything. Money isn't everything.
Unless you're very poor.
It says here, can money make you honest? Can it teach you right from wrong? Can money keep you healthy? Can it make your muscles strong?
Can money make your eyes red the way they get from sewing? Can money make your back get sore the way it gets from blowing?
Can money make your hands get rough as washing dishes does?
Can money make you smell the way that cooking fishes does?
Buys you gems and fancy clothes and juicy steaks to carve, but it cannot build your character.
Or teach you how to starve?
To your creamy shoulders cling, and its white as snow. Then on to cafes where they sway and swing. You go with your wealthy beau. There you'll hear a crooner sing.
Money isn't everything. Money isn't everything as long as you have dough.
This isn't true. You're trying to be funny.
No, I'm not. Charlie's uncle came to the reunion especially to talk to me.
And you were offered a chance to be his partner, a partner of Dr. Denby.
Well, you see, I was kind of a white-haired boy of Denby's when I was an intern at his hospital.
And you have the nerve to stand there and tell me you turned him down. Turned down a partnership in his
I've
office.
got to think of my father. I'm just beginning to be some help to him.
What it gets down to is this. You care more about your father than you do about me.
It's got nothing to do with caring about anybody. I'm just not going to walk out on my father for you or Charlie or anybody. I'm not going to do it, that's all.
Go easy, Jenny. When a man slams a bathroom door like that, you're in trouble. You
I'm a mean, selfish girl. I wasn't thinking about you. I was only thinking of myself and how wonderful it would be to have a beautiful house in Chicago and servants and lovely dresses to wear so I could look pretty for you when you come home at night.
I know how tough it's been for you, Jenny. Gosh, cooking 3 meals a day is bad enough without the rest of the housework.
3 meals a day for 4 people. That's 12 meals a day, you silly.
I wish I could explain just how I feel about the Chicago thing. I don't know.
Don't worry about it, darling. When you told me about this, I thought of a million things all at once. First thing I thought of was, we'd soon be so rich you could give your father that old $10,000 he needs to complete his hospital. You know what else I was thinking? I was thinking at last we could afford something I've wanted ever since we were married. Since even before we were married. He'd be, or she'd be, the most important thing in my life, next to you.
Poor Joe, the older you grow, the harder it is to know what to think, what to do, where to go. Dad? Dad?
Hello, Joe. Just looking over your part of instruction.
Not instructions, Dad. Just a few suggestions about the people I've been taking care of. I particularly wanted to talk to you about that Riley kid.
Oh, I know Vincent. Works from the farm all day and studies all night. Wants to be a priest.
That's the one.
TV. Well, if Vincent's to register there, I'll call up the commissioner and get him put on the list for the state sanitarium.
That'll mean giving up his studies, won't it?
Of course it will. He oughtn't to be doing anything for a couple of years.
Well, you see, that's our biggest worry, Dad. He's going to think he'll be too old to go back to his studies. The only reason he wants to live is to be a priest. You've got to see that he doesn't lose hope.
Get kind of wrapped up in these people, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Of course you do. They're your people after you've helped them. Why does your heart feel so heavy? If it's so fine to go to Chicago to be rich and successful and famous, why does your heart feel so heavy? You could still change your mind. Let the train go without you.
Well, so long, Dad.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Broccoli, hogwash,
Dash, phony baloney.
tripe and trash.
Busy, I'm busy as a bee. I start my day at 1:30.
When I finish running, it's time to dress for tea. Nothing we have to do gets done.
The deep-thinking gentlemen and ladies who keep a metropolis alive drink cocktails and knocktails every afternoon at 5. Hello, Uncle.
There goes Dr. Denby.
Dr. Bigby Denby.
Bigby Denby, Bigby Denby, Bigby Denby, Bigby Denby.
Doctor, I need another shot. The shots he gives are too divine.
He feels a little needle and he gets you all it's gone.
Your belly hurts, but you feel fine. Broccoli, hogwash, balderdash, phony baloney, tripe and trash. Goodness knows where the day has gone.
The days come fast and are quickly gone, but the talk goes on and on, and on and on and on. Lansdale, the multi-millionaire, he manufactures Lansdale stone.
So when he tells a story, his listeners declare he's twice as comical as Papa.
I can't sleep at night.
When I was 4 years old, I tried to murder my nurse. My psychiatrist says my wife is taking her place.
What you need, little lady, is good rest. 1 month at Hot Springs for you. Golf, dancing.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
And when you come back, I'll give you some shots.
Not 1 week.
Hot Springs for you, little lady.
I just came from Hot Springs.
All right then, Palm Springs.
If the government would only let us alone, that Roosevelt.
I've tried reading a book. Look at Miss Wellhouse. She simply doesn't know how to drink.
The deep-thinking gentlemen and ladies who keep a metropolis alive drink cocktails and mocktails every afternoon at 5.
Broccoli, hogwash, dash.
Goodness knows where the years have gone.
The years of a life are quickly gone, but the talk goes on and on, goes on and on and on. The prattle and the tattle, the gab and the gush, the chatter and the patter and the twaddle and the tush go on and on and on and on.
Hello, Emily. What's on your mind?
I won't keep you long.
I brought along a drink for you.
Thanks, Doctor. I don't feel like one just now.
What have you got there?
X-ray films. Gilbert Martin's.
But I've already looked at them. You were there, Emily, don't you remember? I told you to phone him and tell him that there was nothing to worry about.
I remember.
And did you phone him?
No.
Why not?
After you left, I took a squint at it.
Think the aging doctor's eyes are going back on him, eh?
You were in such a hurry to leave this afternoon. Don't blame you, of course, with 50 guests here, all high-bracket patients and hospital trustees. See what I mean, Doctor? Couldn't that be an ulcer crater?
Darling, you must come inside. Mrs. Lansdale is just leaving and she wants to talk to you. Mrs. Brooke Lansdale.
I know. $20 million and she can't sleep.
She wants to talk to my husband about donating $300,000 toward our new private pavilion. I guess that's just about as important as anything else to be to you right now. No?
Oh, I'll go right into it.
Shall I phone Mr. Martin and tell him that his stomach is fine and dandy?
No. I'd like to look at it in the office. I don't trust this letter.
Hurry, Joe. She'll be gone. I'll stay here and talk to Miss West.
I was just going.
Good night, Emily.
Good night, Doctor.
And thanks for calling this to my attention. It was nice of you to come all the way up in this kind of weather.
Joe, don't dawdle. She'll be gone.
All right, dear. All right.
Forgive me for taking him away from you. Social contacts play such an important part in a practice like ours.
Half the battle.
Exactly.
A big medical practice is like any other big business. If you want to be an important doctor with important patients, you've got to give time to them, play golf with them, go to their homes for dinner, have them to your house for cocktails. Of course, you can't do that with every stubble-bum who gets sick, so you focus on the important ones, the leaders of the community.
That's just what I tell the doctor, just the phrase I use, the leaders of the community.
You're so right, Mrs. Taylor.
Of course, I'm not criticizing my husband, but he's not the most practical man in the world.
Kind of a softy.
That's right. And he's too inclined to give too much time to the little things and not enough to the things that count.
Oh, I think he's learning, Mrs. Taylor. I think he's learning fast.
He left his drink. I'll take it.
That's mine!
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Good night. Taxi! Taxi! This is what I get for being a Girl Scout. Save the doctor, save the patient, and get pneumonia myself. The way I feel now, I wouldn't care much. He lets that wife of his lead him around by the nose. Well, if a man lets himself be led around by the nose, then that's all he rates. The boss gets on my nerves, I've got a good mind to quit. I've taken all I can, it's time to get up and get and move to another job or maybe another town. The gentleman burns me up, the gentleman gets me down. The gentleman is a dope, a man of many faults, a clumsy Joe who wouldn't know a rumba from a waltz. The gentleman is a dope, and not my cup of of tea. Why do I get in a dither? He doesn't belong to me. The gentleman isn't right, he doesn't know the score. A cake will come, he'll take a crumb and never ask for more. The gentleman's eyes are blue, but little do they see. Why am I beating my brains out? He doesn't belong to me. It's somebody else's problem. She's welcome to the guy. She'll never understand him half as well as I. The gentleman is the dope. He isn't very smart. He's just a lug you'd like to hug and hold against your heart. The gentleman doesn't know how happy he could be. Look at me crying my eyes out as if he belonged to me. He'll never belong to me. Taxi! The gentleman is a dope. Hey, taxi! The gentleman is a dope. Hey, taxi! I'll walk.
Oh yes, come in, sit down, Doctor. Two things. First, about yourself. I'm very pleased with you, Joseph. Not only because of your work here at the office, but in the hospital. You've won the regard of Brooke Lansdale and the approval of our, biggest trustee is even more important than my approval. Now, I come to my second topic. Charlie, my nephew. You don't think he's been drinking too much, do you?
Well, no, as a matter of fact, Dr. Denby.
Excuse me. Mr. Tubb? Chairman of what committee? No, Mr. Tubb, our policy at the hospital is to keep out of politics. And I say to you, do you know what that man just called me?
Mechanical bottom jabber.
Was that you on the phone just now?
Just my little joke for the day, Uncle.
Joke? Is that all you have to do? Because if it is, we can get along without you. We want doctors here, not jokers. I'll put that brandy down at once.
Down at once. Yes, Uncle.
I'll go right in.
Oh, Brooke, this is an unexpected pleasure. We were just...
I'm catching a train. Sorry to break in on you. But it's about the trouble we've been having with the nurses.
Oh, but I squelched that old boy. They're continuing on the old basis of 12-hour duty.
I know that. But I've gotten the name of the agitator who started the whole thing. Been doing a little investigating, and I want to get rid of this woman.
Well, naturally, we'll have to make an example of her.
Name of the woman is Carrie Middleton.
You mean old Carrie Middleton on the 5th floor?
That's the one. Been with us 30 years, then turns traitor. Take her name off the registry. I want her out of the hospital when I get back here. That'll be the day after tomorrow. Good day, Jim.
Miss West, will you come in here a moment?
You wanted me, Dr. Denby?
Call up the nurse's registry and have them strike off the name of Carrie Middleton.
But, Doctor, Carrie's never worked anywhere else.
Don't you think this is pretty hard on her? A lot of people favor the 8-hour shift. It isn't any crime.
Ah, my boy. But there's such a thing as discipline, loyalty. We must do many things that we do not want to do. Duty. We must be good soldiers.
He's only my uncle by marriage.
I wonder if Carrie would go down and help my father out. He's up to his neck in a flu epidemic.
Good idea. But don't tell Lansdale. Mustn't be too friendly with anybody he doesn't like.
Well, to hell with Lansdale.
Tut tut, my boy, there are many things that one would like to do that one does not. Duty!
You must be good soldiers!
This is a big-time medical practice, Joe.
Sure, through the portals of this office past the biggest screwballs in town.
And the most repulsive. Our rule is for the forceful and not for sentimental folk, but brilliant and resourceful and paranoid gentle folk.
Not soft and sentimental folk.
Allegro, a musician, would so describe the speed of it, the clash and competition of counterpoint.
The need of it?
We cannot prove the need of it.
Yep, pumped. You seem a little low today, boss.
I am. I just had a letter from a boy who used to be a patient of mine. He was going to study for the priesthood at one time. It was a sad, hopeless little letter.
The TB case. You told me about it.
I did.
Several times.
I guess I feel guilty about it. I can't get rid of the feeling that if I'd spent the last 5 years on one boy like Vincent, I'd done the world more good than I could do in a lifetime here.
Getting sour on rich city people?
No, I'm not, Emily. There's nothing wrong with people just because they have money or live in the city. And nothing wrong with being a city doctor, but this crowd that we get, who else is out there now?
Harry Buckley on his way through from California. Mrs. Lansdale is there too. She came in last, but she insists on being seen first.
All right, let her in. No, wait. I'm damned if I let these Lansdales walk all over me. Send Buckley in first.
I knew you must be in by now. Why didn't you tell me he was here? What I've got to say won't take long. The other night, I nearly got to sleep. I was just dozing off about 2 in the morning when the phone rang. It was my husband to tell me that he'd be home late. It then occurred to me that most nights I lie awake wondering when and if my husband is coming home.
He works too hard.
So I put a detective on him. It turns out he's got himself a girl. Here's a carbon copy of the report. The papers will have it tomorrow when I fly to Nevada.
Don't you think you're jumping at this too quickly? Why not think it over? Sleep on it.
Sleep. Me?
Well, is there anything you want me to do? Want anything to quiet your nerves?
Hell no! I want to enjoy this. So long. Read that little blue paper. When you get a chance, it'll give you quite a kick. Good afternoon.
Shall I send Buckley in?
Yes, send him in.
Mr. Buckley!
Hiya, Doc.
Good to see you, Harry.
You're busy, and I've got to make a connection for New York, so I'll get right to it. I've decided I've got low metabolism, and I want you to give me some thyroid pills.
Oh, what makes you think you have a thyroid deficiency?
I play a lot of tennis, and I get a lot of sun. I'm always in marvelous condition, and I feel lousy. I live at that studio. Start at the crack of dawn and get home in the middle of the night.
How does your wife like it?
Lola? She hates it. What are you gonna do? If you're successful, you're successful.
You're successful and you feel lousy.
Gosh, I've gotta run. I'm having a little trouble with Lola right now. Somebody wrote her a letter giving her information about me when I was on location with a picture. I don't know what to do.
Don't let a thing like that hang over you, Harry. Get it behind you, make an honest confession.
Well, yes, but I don't know what to confess. She won't tell me what's in the letter. Goodbye.
Emily, is there anybody out there with a broken arm or a gallstone? Is there anybody out there worth a doctor's time and knowledge? Can't you scare us up a ruptured appendix or a pair of infected tonsils? What the hell kind of a practice is this anyhow? All we seem to attract is...
Dr. Denby wants me to remind you that you need to leave the office in a few minutes to go to the dedication of the new private pavilion. They're going to unveil the bronze plaque. Mr. Lansdale is going to pick you up and
Mr.
around.
Lansdale, you say? Why, he's the very man I'm reading about. This paper tells all about how he meets his girl and where he takes her. And Emily, do you know who Mr. Lansdale's girl is?
Yes, I do.
Does everybody know?
They seem to.
Well, that's the way it is, I guess. Do you know what's very sad about all this? The heartbreaking part of it is that I don't give a damn. I must have stopped loving her some time ago and I didn't know it. Not until this minute. Somewhere along this rat race and along the line, we lost each other. There's nothing real about any of it. Nothing real about this whole damn place. What the hell am I doing here? What the hell am I doing?
We are the friends that you left behind.
You need us, Joe.
And we need you. We can bring happiness and peace to your mind.
We want you, Joe.
We want you to come. Come home.
Come home and lie by a laughing spring, where the breezes sing
like to find...
Joe! Joe! Heavens, boy, aren't you ready? Brooke and I are
Hurry
waiting
up,
for
we've
you in
got
my
the car
office.
downstairs.
Oh, shall we tell him now, Brooke?
Might as well. Give him time to compose a speech on the way over.
Speech.
An acceptance speech. Joe, my boy, you're about to be made physician-in-chief to the hospital. Youngest man ever appointed. You'll be the head man. We're making Big B president of the medical board.
I'm being kicked upstairs.
What do you say?
Well, I'm knocked over. I don't know what to say.
What do you say, Emily?
Well, gee willikers.
Hope he isn't so tongue-tied when we get in front of the trustees. Come on, we're late.
I know one little lady who'll be proud of her husband today.
What are you thinking about, Nursey?
Just thinking about how hard it is for a man to get off a merry-go-round after it gets going fast.
You couldn't expect him to turn down a plum like this. Being head man at our hospital makes a fellow one of the biggest men in medicine.
Big politician, big socialite, and banquet man. Not much of a doctor. He could have been, though. When he first came here, I thought, I hoped. He could have been one hell of a doctor.
There's something about Joe. Something so good about him that you want him to be even better. I can understand a girl getting stuck on a fellow like that. Wouldn't blame her.
Thanks, pal.
Wanna take the day off and go see a burlesque show?
I don't know. I think going to the dedication ceremony might be funnier.
Okay, we'll go there.
Can we stop on the way and have a drink first?
A drink? Look at cockeyed. How else can you go to such things?
Big B Denby, MD, scientist, physician, humanitarian. And better than all of these, an executive. To use a phrase of his own, he has been a good soldier. Big B Denby has 4 years.
Broccoli, hogwash, balderdash, phony, baloney, tripe, and trash. No one knows where his youth has gone. No one knows where his heart has gone. But the talk, talk, talk goes on and on, and on and on and on.
Mr. Chairman, trustees, friends, the cup of my happiness runneth over. My heart is so full, words fail me. And yet, my coworker, my young but very talented friend, Joseph Taylor Jr., the youngest man to ever receive this appointment.
Joseph Taylor Jr. Look out, Joe. Once you cross this threshold, the door will close behind you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this comes to me as a complete surprise. I look upon this appointment as a challenge. One must approach with deep humility the task of succeeding so illustrious a predecessor as Dr. Big B Denby. He has been an ornament to medicine, an ornament to a city, an ornament...
Ornament. A man's brain is sometimes cleared by the sudden light of one word. In the flash of a split second, he sees a signpost pointing down a new road, and he may take a new turning that will affect the rest of his life. The split second is over.
It takes a special talent to be an ornament. I am not blessed with this talent. Larger, I must therefore respectfully...
1 foot, other foot, 1 foot, other foot.
I decline the appointment. As a matter of fact, I have another offer in a smaller hospital where my father is physician-in-chief. I'll be his assistant. I want to practice medicine again. I'm going home.